Good evening. I'm going to take you through my evening stretch routine. Now, I do this 5 evenings out of 7, which I'm pretty proud of because I never used to really do any of this stuff. But I found the secret is that I do it in the evening while I'm watching TV. Usually my yoga mat isn't here, I'll just do it on the carpet, but I'm using this today because I'm pretty beige and the carpet's beige, so I wanted you to be able to see me. But don't worry about getting your yoga mat out when you're at home. Take away any barriers to you doing this sort of thing. So even walking over there, getting the mat and rolling it out would put me off, so I don't do it. Now, these are the exercises that I use, the stretches that I use, and they're things that I've picked up over the years from yoga classes, Pilates classes, or different stretching ideas that I've kind of seen here and there, and they're tailored to me and my body and my issues that I have. So try them, but also be that magpie, finding things that are relevant to you. If you've ever had any injuries or niggles that you've been given specific stretches for from a physio, treat them as something to carry on forever almost. Often we forget about those things. As soon as we're feeling better and we're back to running, we think, oh, I don't need to do that anymore. But they're really good things to include for the long term. I think part of that is to kind of mentally get out of the idea of, oh, I'm not injured anymore, and you want to kind of put those things aside. But they would benefit any person probably, and they definitely will benefit you for the long term. So include those in your routine, and yeah, just be aware when you're trying different things, when you're going to a yoga class, doing a yoga video or whatever, which bits particularly feel good to you. Now that brings me on to point 2, which is that the stretches should feel good in a kind of ooh way. They shouldn't be ah. If there's anything that's back off that, because we don't want to be feeling any pain. And thirdly, put something good on TV. There's no way that I would do this sort of stuff if I hadn't found a way to work it in for me, which is when I'm relaxed, when I'm watching TV. And it means that I spend more time doing it. Now, I might spend 2-3 minutes even in some of these positions, and I go in gradually, so kind of lightly, and then I might kind of move about a bit to go a little bit deeper, and I'm able to do that because I'm distracted by the TV. Not completely distracted, because you need to have some self-awareness about your body, but having that time to kind of get relaxed. And we do need to focus on relaxing various parts of our body. Sometimes we think, oh, I'll just grab this bit and pull it and that's what will stretch, but you need to relax. It's about relaxing the areas around where you're focusing. Okay, so first off, let's come up on our knees and do a little bit of hip rotations. Notice anywhere that feels a bit sticky. My areas are all around my hips and my calves. I think most runners might be that you have some upper body tightness, particularly at the moment. So again, find some bits that are right for you. Now I use stretching after a run. I'll do a quick little bit of stretching. We do like 10 seconds each muscle group really, and I use that really to find the areas where I need to pay a bit of attention later on. Little bit of a check-in with my body. So I've got a softball, which is quite hard. I don't know why they're called that. If you're American, maybe you can tell me. But I use it on my calves. I don't really tend to use a foam roller on my calves. They don't do it for me. So I get a ball, and this, I'm not pressing down. This is just the weight of my leg. I just kind of rock backwards and forwards over it. Ooh. And it kind of feels good. And as I go up into the bigger, fatter part of the calf, or as my physio once told me, this calf is bulkier than the other one. I like to reframe that as more awesome than the other one. but rocking around, and then I might find a little hot spot somewhere that's needs a little bit more attention. So again, I'm not pressing down, I'm just resting it on those bits and then flexing my foot backwards and forwards. Okay, and that gives me a nice little stretch on those little hot spots. So I don't spend very long on these bits. And again, it's not painful. This one's a little bit tighter than the other one. Unusual, because I'm right-handed, right side dominant. Usually it's my right side that has most of the stiffness. And there's a little bit, and so I'll flex my foot backwards and forwards. It just loosens it up a little bit for me. So you could use a tennis ball. I use a softball because it's a little bit bigger in height, which if your ball's too low, then your foot is kind of on the floor. But a tennis ball would work, and they're a little bit softer, but I don't have a tennis ball. When I do have a tennis ball, they go missing. My son takes them everywhere. I usually put the West Wing on about this time. You can choose your own TV, but I really do recommend the West Wing for ultimate stretch, companion, yeah. So recline position. I think they call this windscreen wipering your knees. Just moving your knees backwards and forwards to get those hip joints moving. So from here, you could put your foot up onto the opposite knee, and you'll feel a stretch underneath your hips. Still a pretty good view of the TV from here. But my arms start to get a bit fed up of this. So my preferred position, there's another option obviously, I think in yoga you'd call it threading the needle, putting the foot over, but for me, again, it kind of, I'm tight down there that to grab my thigh doesn't feel comfortable up here, and again my arms start to ache. So I scoot forward a little bit, and I put one foot up on the TV cabinet, and then put the ankle over the side, and then my back, my neck is nice and relaxed down there, and I can focus on the stretching down here. If you don't have a TV cabinet like mine, you can use the wall. Put your foot up on the wall or up on the sofa, and that kind of anchors that foot and gives me a bit of stability to really focus on there. And again, I go in gently, pretty light at first, and then as I start to feel loosen up and I could go a little bit more in, I just scoot my bum a little bit further and then go back into it. I'll show you the other side actually. There we go. Opposite view. And move that leg about to find the areas that you want to focus on. Okay, so come out of these stretches gently. So make that a slow, deliberate movement out so that you don't ping anything. Then I move up a bit. Okay, I can never remember which way I go into this one, so it usually takes me a couple of tries. But cross your right leg over your left, just as though you sat at a bar or something. Do you remember bars? Okay, right foot over your left, and then scoot your hips to the right. Then just let your knees fall down to the ground. So I'm not pulling down, not pulling this down or anything. It's just the weight of the top leg and the knee bringing it down there. So I often feel it because my right side's pretty tight, into my lower back and my side of my body here and around my hip. You can extend that arm and you might feel a bit of a stretch in the chest. I tend to be looking at the TV, but if I look to the side over to my arm, then I'd feel that stretch a little bit more. But I wouldn't know what CJ was up to. So I'll show you that the other side. Left foot, left leg over the right leg. Scoot your hips to the left, and then just let the knees come down. So not pulling it down. It's just the weight of the legs together pulling you down. Okay, feel good? Release slowly. And then this is a little bit more, well, I find it a little bit more intense. Loosen those bits up. But it's similar. So your knees come to the right, and then this bottom ankle comes over the top knee and just pulls it a bit further down towards the ground. And you should feel it through this left hip. And gently come out. I'll show you this side. Oop. Knees down first, and then bottom foot onto the top knee. Rest in there gently. Yeah, this side's a lot tighter for me. Okay, so I'm a bit reluctant to do this one for obvious reasons, but if you've done yoga, you will know this as the happy baby. So, at least I'm not pointing my bum towards the camera. So, legs go up in the air. So it might be that your feet come to your shins or your ankles. That was where I was for quite a while. Now, I can grab my feet. Well, go wherever's right for you. And as you spend a little bit of time there, you will start to relax. But think about relaxing, not just kind of going. Rrr. And you should again be able to keep your head on the floor and your neck kind of extended. If you're kind of going like that, then that's a sign you need to go further down the leg. You could also use, if you wanted to put a little towel or something around the foot as a hand grip. Okay, we're going to roll over onto our front. So when we stretch at the end of a run, if we stretch the front of our thigh standing up, two issues that arise from that is that sometimes we kind of wobble in, because obviously you need to stand on one foot to do that. So you're not kind of concentrating on the stretch so much, and your knees moving out and around as you wobble. Even if you're really good at balancing and you're not wobbling, you do have a tendency, if it's tight, to not stand up fully tall. So your hip will be not fully extended, so you're not really focusing so much on that muscle. So a good way to do it, if your balance is not brilliant, or you just want to do it at home, do it a bit more with a bit more focus, is to lay down. You probably have one leg extended, but I haven't got space. I usually be this way for this one because obviously I can't see the TV right now. But I'll do it this way to show you. You're welcome. So your hip is nice and flush to the ground there. So you're nice and straight. And then bring that heel towards the bum. So it might be that this is enough for you. Or you can put like a towel or something around that ankle to pull your foot closer to your bum. Or you might be able to grab the ankle itself. And then you can feel that thigh and move your foot slightly from side to side to kind of get into different muscles in the front of your thigh. It's not one big muscle. There's 4 there. Some might need more attention than others, so find out which bits are right for you. And that's it. That's pretty much what I do, most evenings. Try them, and again, be that magpie, picking up different stretches, and it might vary from time to time as to where you want to pay more attention. If you're big into marathon training, that might be different than if you're running quite light, or if you're training for shorter, faster races. You go through different phases in the year, and from week to week even. So just keep an eye, check in with your body after a run, and do what's right for you. And go easy. Nothing should hurt. See ya. Enjoy the West Wing.